बिछाए राम आएंगे, नैना भीगे भीगे जाए, कैसे खुशी छुपाए राम आएंगे, कुछ समझ न पाएगा, फूल बिछाए राम आएंगे। हम कथा सुनाते राम सकल गुण धाम की, हम कथा सुनाते राम सकल गुण धाम की, ये रामायण है पुण्य कथा श्री राम की, ये रामायण है पुण्य कथा श्री राम की। जम्बूद्वीपे भरतखण्डे आर्यावर्ते भारतवर्ष, एक नगरी है विख्यात अयोध्या नाम की, यही जन्म भूमि है परम पूज्य श्री राम की। हम कथा सुनाते राम सकल गुण धाम की, ये रामायण है पुण्य कथा श्री राम की, ये रामायण है पुण्य कथा श्री राम की। मंत्रों से बढ़ के तेरा नाम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, राजा राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, राजा राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, राजा राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम।
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have another big round of applause for our incredible performers. What a mesmerizing performance that was. After that beautiful rendition, we present a Bharatanatyam fusion dance by B-Nach. This fusion dance beautifully combines the essence of patriotism with the elegance of classical dance. This performance is a tribute to our nation, weaving together the spirit of unity and the richness of our cultural heritage. This dance is choreographed by Shoma Chakravarti, and the dancers are Hita Anaka Reddy and Devapriya Sood. Let's give them a warm welcome.
मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूं जिसके होठों में गंगा और हाथों में तिरंगा है। वो देश जो कभी सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम, कभी वंदे मातरम और कभी पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्रविड़ उत्कल बंगा है। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूं जो हर ठुकराए हुए की शरण स्थली बन जाता है और 7 समंदर पार परदेसियों को भी अपने ब्रदर एंड सिस्टर कहकर बुलाता है। यही प्रेम की पूज्य भूमि भारतवर्ष कहलाता है, भारतवर्ष कहलाता है।
शिव कैलाशों के बसी धौलीधारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरणा। शिव कैलाशों के बसी धौलीधारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरणा।
जनक जनक तकता जनक जनक तकता जनक जनक तकता जिचकिट दिलांग दुमकिट दादा दुमकिट दादा दुमकिट दादा धा 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 धरकिट 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 सक धरकिट दादा धा 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 धाकिट दुमकिट तकता धाकिट कदे कदे गिन धाकिट दुमकिट तकता हिंदरा दादा दित्तागा धाकिट दुमकिट तकता धरकिट तक धाकिट कदे कदे गिन धाकिट दुमकिट तकता जिचकिट दादा जिचकिट तान कदे तान धा कदे कदे तान तकिट धरकिट धाकिट 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 धाकिट
तिरंगे की कुछ बात ही निराली है। उसे देखकर नजरें एकदम से थम जाती है, कभी ना रुकने की हिम्मत आती है। सिर गर्व से ऊंचा होकर कुछ अलग ही महसूस होता है। ऐसा लहरता हुआ तिरंगा हमें उम्मीद देता है, ऐसा लहरता हुआ तिरंगा हमें उम्मीद देता है।
दुनिया में मिल जाएंगे आशिक कहीं, पर वतन से हंसी सनम नहीं होता। हीरो में सिमट कर सोने से लिपट कर मरते हैं कहीं, पर तिरंगे से खूबसूरत कफन नहीं होता।
नाम नहीं एक जश्न है भारत, रग रग में है जीत की आदत, ऐसा हुनर दुश्मन भी सलामी दे। तू सूरज हम तेरे उजाले, तुझसे जुदा नहीं होने वाले, आखिर तक हम सफर तिरंगे के। जय हिंद जो नस नस में है, हर बाजी फिर बस में है, सिद्ध जान के हिंदुस्तान बोले। सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शीतलाम सस्य श्यामलाम वन्दे मातरम्। सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शीतलाम सस्य श्यामलाम वन्दे मातरम्।
Thank you for that foot tapping and heart beating performance, ladies. Don't they deserve another round of applause? I now have the honor of inviting His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India to Zambia, Mr. Ashok Kumar, to deliver the welcome address. Please join me in warmly welcoming him on stage.
Honorable Shri Vardhan Singh ji, Minister of State for External Affairs and Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Republic of India, distinguished guests of Indian diaspora, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. It's my privilege and honor to welcome the Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Kirti Vardhan Singh ji, to this community reception. Honorable Minister is in Lusaka on this historic high-level visit to co-chair the 6th session of India-Zambia Joint Permanent Commission, along with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Zambia, Shri Mulambo Haimbe. I have learnt that this is the first visit of Honorable. So, to the has chosen Zambia for his first continent of Africa. This is better. Remove this. This visit would play a very important role in enriching our bilateral relations with Zambia. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, India and Zambia share a common legacy of colonial past, and our relationships are grounded in values of cooperation and mutual respect. The bilateral relationship has grown over the last 6 decades. However, the people to people relationship is much older. Today, when we look forward, it is an opportune time to elevate this partnership to the next level. Sir, your visit underlines the importance India places on Zambia and reflects our continued commitment to this long-standing relationship. There is a good cooperation between our two countries on numerous areas where our relations can grow, from economic partnership, capacity building, climate change actions, and cultural exchanges. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, the Indian community in Zambia has played a remarkable role in nurturing these bonds of friendship, making their mark in Zambia and beyond, whether through contribution to businesses, healthcare, education, or community services. Our community has shown a deep commitment to Zambia's progress. Your diligence, integrity, and spirit of perseverance have created a vibrant image of India in Zambia, embodying the best of Indian values by adapting the Zambian culture. Together, we contribute to a unique and diverse social fabric, one that strengthens our ties on multiple levels and bring our communication closer. I'm very happy to state that our community actively played an important role in developing close and healthy relationship. And this relationship with High Commission of India and with the diaspora community is gaining stronger. The collaboration of the High Commission goes beyond formal engagements, and we are actively supporting the cultural activities of the diaspora community. I'm happy to state that the diaspora has given their fullest cooperation in celebrations of many cultural and other events of the High Commission of India. This healthy relationship is clearly visible with the large presence of our diaspora community in today's reception. The High Commission is playing its role in reducing the grievances of the community to its minimum level with many community friendly initiatives. High Commission has instituted an open house every Tuesday, offering a direct platform for community members to address any concerns or grievances. I myself lead these sessions, ensuring that every voice is heard and each concern is addressed with urgency and care. This initiative has seen considerable engagement and has greatly enhanced communication between the High Commission of India and the community, building an environment of trust and support. In addition, we have recently constructed a new consular hall at the High Commission. The aim is to provide a welcoming space equipped with modern facilities to improve the experiences of those availing the consular services. The consular hall provides increasing seating capacity and more efficient delivery of services, all of which contribute to the nice experiences. This is, I'm not telling, my community comes and tell me this, that they have seen the changes in the High Commission. We are dedicated to making these services as accessible and accommodating as possible, ensuring that every member of our diaspora feels valued and connected to India. I am happy to share that for our non-resident Indians, NRIs, there is a scholarship scheme which is called Scholarship Program for Diaspora Children, SPDC. It continues to offer educational opportunities at leading Indian institutions. Under this program, scholarships are available for higher education in India, providing financial support to NRI families who wish to give their children a quality education in India. I strongly request families in our communities to avail themselves of this program and make the most of this to keep their children connected to their motherland while receiving a world-class education in India. Our collective strength lies in our continued linkages with our motherland, India, and there are several avenues for fostering this connection. I invite you all to participate in the upcoming Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in January 2025, which is a very special event that celebrates the invaluable contribution of our overseas Indian diaspora. This gathering is an enriching platform, exchanging ideas, engaging with leaders, and exploring ways to contribute further to India's growth and development. It's a platform for you to share your enriching experiences and celebrations of your achievements for a collective and unified vision of strong and united India. I would also encourage you to register on the Global Rishta portal of the Ministry of External Affairs. Links are available on the High Commission website. This is an innovative digital platform designed to connect overseas Indians and help them stay informed about key developments of India. This database also serves as a vital tool for connecting with our fellow Indians quickly, particularly during the time of a crisis. Registering on this portal is totally free, and this is a valuable platform which provides invaluable support during any crisis by enabling quick connections in time of need, assuring your safety and well-being during emergencies by quick evacuation. Honorable Minister, sir, your visit today is a source of great pride and optimism for all of us. We are honored by your presence and look forward to your continued efforts to strengthen India-Zambia relations. As you witness the vibrancy and resilience of the Indian community in Lusaka, I am confident that you will see firsthand spirit of friendship that binds our nations. Together, I am confident that unified voice and action of our diaspora community would play an important role of taking our bilateral relations with Zambia to new heights of cooperation and growth. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, we are welcoming our Honorable Minister. Let us renew our commitment to strengthen this growing relationship and build a future marked by unity, prosperity, and mutual respect. Let us also continue to uphold the values of hard work, integrity, community spirit, and perseverance that have defined the Indian diaspora's contribution to Zambia. High Commission assures you that it is committed to engage with the government of Zambia for your overall safety and security, including safety of your investment in Zambia. High Commission also look forward for a continuous feedback of your experiences in a more coordinated and regular basis. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your address and that informative information. It is now my privilege to invite our esteemed guest. He is a renowned environmental activist, a well-known public figure, and a hang glider pilot. देवियों और सज्जनों, कृपया तालियों के साथ स्वागत करते हैं श्री कीर्ति वर्धन सिंह जी का, the Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and the Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change.
नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप लोग? ठीक है? हिंदी में अगर थोड़ा बहुत हम बोला करें तो एनी प्रॉब्लम तो एनीवन चल जाएगा, मिक्स करके बोल देंगे. A very good evening to everyone. Honorable High Commissioner Shri Ashok Kumar ji, हमारे मिशन के सारे respected staff, esteemed, respected community leaders here, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me begin by thanking our young performers here, whose energy, enthusiasm, and the beauty of their performance has really needs one more round of applause. Thank you very much. हम लोगों ने काफी यहाँ आज स्टर कॉज कर दिया विद दोस ड्रमर्स एंड आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल कि होटल की लॉबी से नहीं लेके आया, नहीं तो सो आई लाइक टू थैंक दोस ड्रमर्स. आई डोंट नो कहाँ पे बैठे हैं, आई कांट सी देम फ्रॉम हियर, शायद वो पीछे हैं. आप लोगों को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है आज आप लोगों के बीच में आकर. आई एम फीलिंग right at home. And of course, अभी हम लोगों को आपस में इंटरैक्ट करने का भी मौका मिलेगा. तो यहाँ पे I just want to know कि how many people from India और the सबसे पुरानी families India की यहाँ पे कब से in Zambia? I believe Honorable High Commissioner is telling me that the first Indian people came here in 1905. 1892. Please, sir. Thank you. 1892. Wow. That's a long time. 4 generations. चलिए 10. So impressive. या आप लोग अपने देश से इतनी दूर आकर you have settled here, integrated yourself in this society, made a success of your career and life, and have also given such a good name to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, with the responsibility that I've been given by Honorable Prime Minister of representing not only a country but also having the responsibility of the portfolio, you can say, of being the Minister of State for not only environment, forest, and climate change, but also external affairs. And that has given me opportunity to, in this very short span of a government, since June, I have managed to go to many countries and interacted with our Indian diaspora in all these countries. And my heart fills with pride when in each and every country, वहाँ के लोग, वहाँ के government, वहाँ के ministers, they always praise our Indian diaspora. That they are hardworking. आपके मेहनत की तारीफ करते हैं, आपके सिंसियरिटी की तारीफ करते हैं, आपके हार्डवर्क की, and most of all, they always praise your sense of mixing with the local cultures and being very law-abiding. I always get to hear that. And I must again congratulate the Indian diaspora here for bringing such a good name to our country. So I want to know, do you get to visit our country often? Yes. And have you seen any changes in the past few years? Lots of changes. Yahan pe, how many, I mean, I'm sure some of you would be from rural backgrounds in India, coming from villages or at least your forefathers, families. Must be, I suppose. Let me also, while I'm talking to you, hum apne bare mein bata dein. I also come from a rural background. We are a farmer's family in UP, and my home state is UP. और अभी भगवान राम की परफॉर्म उनको लेकर उनके होम कमिंग को लेकर वो परफॉर्मेंस चल रहा था. My village is very near Ayodhya. Just the river Saryu separates my village and Ayodhya, my area. At one time, and not very far back, my district of Gonda in UP was one of the most backward districts, not only in UP but also in India. We are very close to the Nepal border, and the fruits of development hadn't reached us. And that was not too far back. As a young person, as a young boy, I remember the time till maybe 8 or 10 years old, where we had no electricity in our village. I mean, there were electric poles, there were electric lines, but there was no electricity, no power. And I have grown up, यहाँ पे हमारे जो बुजुर्ग लोग हैं और respected older generation, आप लोगों को याद होगा कि रात में कैसे लालटेन जलाई जाती थी, कैसे पेट्रोमैक्स लैम्प जलाए जाते थे. And as a child, it always used to be very fascinating जब रोज शाम को हम लोगों के घर में लालटेन और ये गैस निकलती थी, उसमें जो हमारे एक लोग थे जो उसको जलाते थे, तो हम लोग छोटे छोटे बच्चे थे, बैठ के उसको देखा करते थे. And we tried to light it. We had no telephones. Roads के नाम पे, yes, there were 2-3 arterial roads which were there in name only. The level of poverty was extremely high. All the infrastructure that we take for granted today, all the जो कुछ हम लोग आज मान के चलते हैं, वो हम लोग के not only in my village, but I dare say for entire India, in the rural communities, in the rural areas, there was a huge divide between the villages and the cities and the urban areas. And now, like you say, हमने पूछा आपसे कि आप लोग जाते होंगे, you have seen the changes that have happened. You have seen how in this very short span of time, in the past 10-12 years, how we have progressed from being a very backward economy to now occupying the 3rd place in the world today, and a $4 trillion economy. आपने नोटिस किया होगा कि किस तरह जो गैप था रिच एंड पुअर में, वो अब खत्म किया जा रहा है, और खत्म काफी हद तक खत्म भी हो गया. If I go into the details, it'll take me very long, that what all achievements have happened, what all changes have happened. But if I talk to you from my personal perspective, in politics, it has been, I'm almost 30 years in politics for me. And I've seen various parties. But the change, the response, the work, the speed of work, the efficiency, which I see now, I have never ever seen in any party. And on that note, I would like to thank and express my gratitude to my countrymen that they have opted for this path of growth and development, because it is their decisions that have helped our country grow. हम लोग अभी कुछ बात कर रहे थे, अभी हमारे कमिश्नर साहब ने अपने कॉलोनियल हिस्ट्री की बात की थी. It took us a lot to come out of that era. There were sacrifices made by many people, from non-violent movements to the sacrifices that were made by our Krantikaris. They all played their part in getting us our independence. हमारे गोंडा में, if you would have ever heard of the Kakori Kand, Kakori Kand के जो main 3 क्रांतिकारी थे, राजेंद्र लहरी जी, पंडित राम कुमार बिस्मिल जी और अशफाक उल्लाह खान साहब, उन लोगों को अंग्रेजों ने जो जेल में डाला था, हमारा गोंडा जेल था. उसके बाद राजेंद्र कुमार जी को गोंडा में ही फांसी दी गई थी. He was hanged in Gonda jail. Ram Kumar Bismil ji was hanged in Gorakhpur jail, and Ashfaq Ullah Khan Sahab was hanged in Faizabad jail. When I talk about my district, I must mention to you that the architects of the 1957 का फ्रीडम की लड़ाई जो थी, गदर जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं, उसमें नाना साहब, बेगम हजरत महल साहब, the last battle they fought against the British was in my district. And my forefather, Maharaja Devi Bakar Singh ji, was there with them. And finally, when they got defeated, they retreated into Nepal, and that's another story. But what I'm trying to stress here is that our freedom has been very hard won. बहुत लोगों ने बलिदान दिए. People give a lot of sacrifices. And that is how we got a freedom. And I often ask people, when you say you're free now, we live in an independent India now. What is the greatest thing we have earned? Or rather, our forefathers who got us independence, what has been our greatest what is it that we have earned? It is a right to shape the destiny of our country, the power to decide the future of our generations, our vote, which is actually colored with the blood and the sweat of our freedom fighters. And it is this vote which has helped to transform our country today, where people have put their faith in us, in the government, in the governance, in the way things are happening. And we are growing from strength to strength. हम लोगों का जो एक इमेज था दुनिया में, it has changed dramatically. India is now looked at with respect. So many countries have gone to the government, the ministers I meet, they always want to learn from India now. They want to learn from our information technology experience. They want to learn from our inclusivity efforts. They want us to invest in the industries, in the agriculture, in the learning centers, in the education, in the health. They want their medicines from us. This is the position we've reached. And I know that every Indian, wherever they are, now they occupy a sense of respect in the local communities. बहुत पहले एक बार I was flying from Lucknow to Delhi a few years back, and on the seat next to me was an Indian gentleman, and we started talking. So he told me that he is settled, he lives in Singapore, and he had come to meet his family in Lucknow. So he did not know what I do, and I just casually asked him, sir, what do you think about a country now? I thought, being a businessman, he'll talk about from the business angle, about the laws, about the business, about taxation. कुछ इस तरह की बातें करेंगे. But I was very surprised to hear his answer. He said very simply that the greatest change he sees now is that every Indian, wherever he is in, whichever country he lives in, he feels safe, that the government is there to look after him. I was actually very surprised by that answer. I had never thought of it that way. But when we look at the efforts our government has made, from getting back our people safely from any hotspot, any conflict zone in the world, his words were true. It meant something. चाहे हमारी नर्सेज हों जो शायद ओमान से हम लोग लेके आए थे, हमारे स्टूडेंट जो हम लोग यूक्रेन से लेके आए थे, and so many other examples, so many other operations, Operation Ganga, Operation Kaveri, I forget the names. And that is a big achievement for us. And that's a matter of pride for our government that our citizens, our countrymen, our people feel safe now wherever they are in the world. If I again talk about the long journey, I would like to start from the rural perspective. which I mentioned, कि हम लोगों ने, we hadn't seen electricity, we didn't know about roads. Today, I'm happy to tell you that we have achieved almost 100% rural electrification. And it's not just a question of setting up the infrastructure, putting in poles or wires, but even in the rural areas, we have at least 20 to 22 hours of electricity. As not very far back, आज से अगर हम केवल कुछ साल पहले की बात करें, till 2014 की बात करें, और सी गवर्नमेंट्स थी हमारे स्टेट में, एंड हम लोगों के लिए बिजली राशन होती थी. We used to get 4 hours of electricity in the day and for 1 week, and 4 hours of electricity in the night for 1 week. That was a condition. That has changed now. When we talk about connectivity, आज we are building highways at the speed which has never happened. When we talk about air travel, we have set up 74 new airports. We have high-speed trains connecting our cities. And if you talk about inclusivity, how to make people, even the most poorest of the poor, the most underprivileged people, feel empowered. Our country, our government went about creating bank accounts for each and every person. We used to see it. हम लोग के गांव में, in the villages, these youngsters used to come with their internet-enabled devices, and every poor person, his account was created. He did not have to go to the bank. Sitting in his village, sitting in his home, his bank accounts were created. We formed the unique ID system of Aadhaar card. And we connected the Aadhaar card with his bank account and our information technology platforms. And now our direct benefit schemes help the poor get their social benefits directly into their accounts with no middleman. I forget the exact numbers here, but that has saved our country thousands of crores of rupees, which is being reinvested into the infrastructure. हम लोग जब गांव की बात करते हैं, जहां लोग थैचेस में रहते थे, कच्चे मकानों में रहते थे, आज प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत पक्का houses are being made for them. Toilets are being made. Our farmers are getting benefits of so many schemes. Our agricultural sector is being strengthened. So these are the things that have happened. When we talk about business community, we have done away with all laws that जिससे हमारी business community को बहुत दिक्कत होती थी. They were almost held to ransom, but we have done away with thousands of old laws. We have made improvements in the ease of doing business, single window clearance system, and that is also one of the reasons why our economy is growing so fast. Our information technology platforms have helped us to make our governance more efficient. हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी के कहना है कि more governance, less government. And that has also played a very important part in getting us where we are. We used to be in the world, our country was the biggest importer of arms. And under our Atma Bharat scheme, now we are exporting millions of dollars of arms to other countries. Our arms exports have grown by more than 300%. So these are the changes that have been there. हमारे middle class के लिए we've done a lot of schemes. Our Digital India and Technology Powered India has created not only jobs, but also we have now more countless startups that have been encouraged through these schemes. So these are the changes that have happened. It's a long list, like I said, but I'm sure that we will continue on this trajectory. We will continue to grow, and our diaspora here will also like I mentioned yesterday, हम लोग की कल meeting थी India Zambia Business Forum की, and I implored the people यहाँ के कि आप लोग जो opportunity यहाँ है, please utilize that opportunity, and also please increase the trade and business between our countries. And there's vast opportunity here from what I have learned. कल यहाँ पे जो हम लोग की meeting थी, उसमें आपके Zambia के the Honorable Minister of Agriculture was there, the Honorable Minister of Medium and Small Scale Enterprises was there. And the way they spoke, the way they outlined their country's strategy, it is very clear that Zambia is looking for more and more investment in the sectors of agriculture, in the sectors of mining and minerals, in the sectors of education and information technology, health. And I'm sure that you all, using your enterprising spirit, will rise up to the occasion and make use of this opportunity. जैसा कि हमारे कमिश्नर साहब कह रहे थे, और हम लोग हर जगह ये बात करते हैं कि our diaspora is the living bridge between our countries. I have been a student of geology, like Honorable High Commissioner, and in that subject we used to study about the time period, जो हम लोग का time period नहीं, the geological time period, which we talk about in millions of years. And I would like to inform you that more than 180 millions ago, बहुत ज़्यादा time लगता है, you know, but the Indian landmass and the African landmass was one continent. It was known as the Gondwana land. We started breaking up with the plate tectonics happening. We separated. But the bridge between our countries is maintained by a hardworking diaspora here. And I convey my best wishes that you will continue to grow and prosper with the opportunities and the comparative advantages which both our countries have to offer. We have a great source of natural resources in this country, and we have a great source of expertise, technical know-how, and knowledge base in India. And it is just the question of bringing that together, and that will lead to prosperity not only for community, but of our nations also. So I would not like to delve more into this, but since we have a bit of a time issue here, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. और बहुत सारी चीज जो हम बोलना चाहते हैं, आप लोग जब सवाल करेंगे तो उसी में निकल के आ जाएंगी. So I welcome you all to put up any issue that you feel like, anything that you'd like to know, any question that you'd like to ask. You're most free to ask me. One more thing before I open the floor. When I was praising the dancers here, the performers here, our Honorable High Commissioner informed me that there's no cultural center in the embassy. I can only promise you that I'll try my best to get a cultural center here. So anyone, if you want to know something, हमारे यहाँ यूपी से कोई है? From UP, so many people. Mostly I hear from Gujarat, Maharashtra, South India. But जी, यूपी में कौन से districts है, if I may ask? Yes, district in UP. From Muzaffarnagar. Based in Haridwar. चलिए, मुजफ्फरनगर तो हम लोग का sugar producing belt है. जी चलिए, very nice. So you are doing business here, sir?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, in what field?
So, sir, I'm in multiple fields, in pharma, IT,
I see.
in hospitality.
चलिए, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody near about Gonda? From Lucknow, ma'am. चलिए, very nice to know. Namaskar. From Gonda? गोंडा में कहां से मैम? डुमरिया डी. अब तो आप यहाँ कब से?
मैं 6 साल से हूँ.
अच्छा, 6 साल से. I thought you चलिए, very nice. So how come you're here, ma'am, from Dumariadi?
After my marriage.
Ah, okay. So you grew up in Gonda.
Yeah.
So do you still remember the language we speak in Gonda?
Yeah. कैसे हम आइत है जाइत है खाइत है कैसे न भैया जय श्री राम जन्म जन्म की खोज बताए राम से चल के राम पे आए प्रेम कोई हमें और न जाने राम से रूठे राम से माने राम सिया की करुण कहानी एक है चंदन एक है पानी राम सिया राम जय जय राम सिया राम जय जय राम जय श्री राम
You have a lovely voice, ma'am. आप बहुत नीक गाय लेती हो. Very warming to hear that. डुमरिया जी हम लोग के मनकापुर से ना जा रहा है और मनकापुर अच्छा पालागी नहीं आप नहीं हम चलिए it's so nice, it's so heartwarming to meet people from our own area. India is such a big country, such a big region, and wherever apart from meeting बाहर जब जाते हैं तो अपने इंडियन लोगों से भेंट होती तो बहुत अच्छा लगता ही है, लेकिन इतने बड़े देश से एक कोने से कोई मिल जाए तो वाकई बहुत अच्छा लगता है. आपके हस्बैंड भी गोंडा से मैम? हस्बैंड इज आल्सो फ्रॉम गोंडा, बरेली से. अच्छा अच्छा, चलिए प्लीज हैव अ सीट. तो लाइक आई सेड, अगर आप लोग कुछ जानना चाहते हैं, पूछना चाहते हैं, हम यहाँ ज्यादा भाषण नहीं देना चाहते थे. I just wanted to tell you how we have been progressing. I have so many points, but if I go into it, and it's all available on the net anyways. So if you, अगर आप लोगों की तरफ से कुछ आप लोग जानकारी चाहते हैं, you're most welcome to ask. Sir, there please.
Sir, when can we have direct flights to India?
Sir, it's a big concern for me also. I'll tell you why. Honorable Foreign Minister for External Affairs, Shri Jaishankar ji, has given me the responsibility of the bilateral relations we maintain with all the countries in Africa. तो हमें तो अफ्रीका इतना आना जाना है, तो हम तो खुद ही चाहते हैं कि एक जल्दी से डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट हो जाए. But I will look into it, sir.
Thank you.
And I will discuss with the Honorable High Commissioner here what steps have we taken. Have you contacted airlines like the Indigo or Air India, and what is the numbers of passengers from here? We'll have to look into those aspects. The airlines, of course, look at the cost benefit issues. So I'll discuss with the High Commissioner, and we'll see where what is the status of it and try to do our best. Abhi sir, I lose track of time with these different time zones. But I think 2 days back, I was in Colombia in South America. And I'm coming from there. वहाँ पे ये climate change ko leke, there was a conference on biodiversity. And like I said, I am also the Minister of State for Environment and Forest. So मैं वहाँ जाना पड़ा था to attend that conference and to attend those negotiations. And to reach, I had to fly from Cali, which is a city where this conference was happening, to the capital of Colombia, Bogota. From Cali to Bogota, Bogota to Paris, Paris to Dubai, and finally Dubai to Lusaka. And हमारे आदरणीय कमिश्नर साहब हैं, he is such a hardworking person. He thinks that everybody has that capacity. I reached here at I think 2:30, 3:30 we reached the hotel, and 6 o'clock we had a meeting, and I got back last night at 11:30 to But of course, having a direct flight is such a blessing, and I will take this matter also. Anybody? हाँ सर बोलिए, एकदम बोलिए आप क्यों? Thank you.
Matter that the visa should be on the arrival on the South Africa, as many countries now giving the visa on Indian national on arrival.
That's right.
That will be one of the requests which is under your jurisdiction.
Right, so again to see where we stand as far as South Africa goes. What is the status with them, what are the diplomatic relations with them are, and how we can go ahead with the visa on arrival. But again, like I said earlier, that our country is gaining prestige and reputation all over the world, and many countries have opened the borders to that sense that we have a visa on arrival. And South Africa is a big nation, and I'm surprised that we still don't have that that relation with them. So we will, sir, please remind me, Vedi, please make a note of it. When you go back, we'll try to see how we can process it as fast as you can. You can say 10
For the Indian diaspora point of view,
of course.
One is I represent the chair of Human Service Trust, which you will come to know, and we all are proud. All are the member of the Human Service Trust, and you will know to learn that from last 50 years, we are having the Akhand Ramayan Parayana almost every month, and we have completed the 8th Mala. Every Ramayan part when we count as one bead of the Mala, we have already completed 8, and we are going on the 9th. The 40th part will be this coming weekend here. So this has been started from 1974, and this is a very unique Ramayan Parayan here, and we are request on behalf of that one that Human Service Trust will like, because we have done such a Ramayan Parayan, if we can be given a chance to do the Ramayan Parayan in the Ramlala's Ayodhya temple, very nearest. That will be the one of the biggest requirement of the Indian diaspora.
I'm
Though
sure
in the last 50 years, Ramayan Parayan we also conduct internationally, and as per our honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji's vision is that we should learn from Ramayan, and that should be go across the world. We are almost 50 years ago we have started this one, and that is what is the spirit is there, and we will be very lucky if we can get it.
I'm sure that can be facilitated, sir. I just need it in writing from your organization and the dates that you're looking at.
So we are not only doing the religious activities, and whatever offering is coming from the religious activities from the Ramayana, Sundarkand, and Havan, etc. From last many years, we do the charity. We run the school of community school for 500 children from grade 1 to grade 9, and we have a hospice for 30 beds
in the Lusaka, which is given to the poorest to the poor. Our blessing and the founder of Human Service Trust, His Holiness Swami Krishnanand Saraswati ji, he has done the Human Service Trust everywhere in Mauritius, in America, here in Baroda, everywhere it is done. And the beauty of the Human Service Trust is that we have such a good harmony between all the religions here, that every religion people are helping the Human Service Trust in good cause for the needy people.
Chaliye, I must congratulate you on this wonderful work you're doing for the society, sir.
And another proud moment for our Indian diaspora is that the new yoga things which our Prime Minister is started, that yoga sports which should come and part of the Olympic in 2034. The Yogasana Sports Federation of Zambia is proud to say, I chair that also, that we have conducted the yoga sports first time in Zambia in the whole African continent, and then followed by in Tanzania, Kenya, Cameroon, and everywhere, which is trying to make a lobby to reach into the Olympics Games. Already it has been announced that in the coming Asian Games, yoga sports will be conducted in coming Asian Games. So these are our proud moment for you as well as us. Thank you very much for time.
Let me congratulate you on this excellent work you're doing, sir, for not only for society, but also now that you're talking about it for a very age-old yoga as an exercise, if you can call it. And I'm sure we will achieve great heights in the coming Olympics. And I wish you all the success. And regarding your earlier request of performing Ramayan part in Ayodhya, I can facilitate that. आप हमें लिख के दे दीजिएगा अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की तरफ से. It is very, I'd like to mention here that wherever, like I said, I've visited several countries now, and the effort Indian diaspora does to keep the traditions alive, to keep the culture alive is very commendable. And again, I congratulate all the community leaders here, all the people who are taking their time out, putting in the effort to teach our traditional art forms, our traditional culture to the young generation. It's a very good thing, and I hope you keep it up. It is very important to keep in touch with the roots, because that is where our identity lies. And as an Indian, as one of the oldest civilizations in this world, I believe we have a very rich culture and tradition to preserve. And it's very heartening to know that the community does that wherever I have gone. So congratulations on that account.
Honorable Minister, we were together yesterday at the business forum, and as Minister of External Affairs in terms of climate change, you mentioned that today you'd be planting a tree at the High Commission, I believe, Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, right? It's a message that I just wanted to ask you, to ask all of us as the diaspora and community to carry that message as we go along, as Zambia also faces a huge deforestation, as we must also maybe follow the same principle of what you did today, of planting a tree in our mother's name. It's just, I thought maybe coming from you is something that the community can follow. Thank you, sir.
Sir, climate change, everybody is aware of it now. And people never thought where it will lead us. But it's a harsh reality. It is affecting everyone. And it is time we sat up and took notice And it is time we started acting of how to face this new phenomena. कुछ साल पहले कोविड आया था, and the whole world was reeling under the impact of COVID. And that is where all our science, all our advancement, all our research into modern ways of medicine, they just failed us. We had no medicine for COVID. जल्दी जल्दी से vaccinations बनाई गई. Our country not only vaccinated every Indian citizen in India, but we also gave vaccines to so many other countries. But that apart, what we should learn that we have to live with nature rather than fight nature. अभी जो हम बात कर रहे थे कोलंबिया में the Conference of Parties regarding biodiversity, which is linked with the climate change, one of the main themes was peace with nature. Now, the problem is we have to also balance it with our developmental needs. And that is where we talk about sustainable development. Zambia needs to develop, and agriculture is one of the main, the rising income source now, apart from mining. But then for agriculture, you need lands. If the lands are forested, now what does one do? So these are the issues we have to solve. Mankind has to solve. Ek Peड़ Maa Ke Naam has a very big emotional appeal to it. But the objective is that we try to plant as many trees as possible, wherever possible, because they are one of the key controllers for the climate change that is happening, for the environment degradation that is happening, for the air quality that is, the pollution that is happening. So when you plant a tree is one of the main sources of how you connect the earth with the atmosphere. A tree not only holds sequestered carbon, because rising carbon levels in the atmosphere is one of the major causes of climate change. A tree helps to hold that carbon, and a tree also has a big role to play in our underground water resources. Kal, you were there, sir, when the bath ho rahi thi, and there was this His Royal Highness from the Zambezi area, jahan se Zambezi River shuru hoti hai, and that's the source of the Zambezi, and that is also one of the richest mining areas. And the first thing I said, you must make sure that when you're mining in that area, you don't kill the source of the river, and that is the forest, those are the trees at the source. Aaj Zambia is facing a huge drought problem, which is also, I know that when I was talking about electricity some time back, I know that Zambia faces a huge power shortage because the country's power was dependent on hydroelectricity. And because of this drought, now there's no water in the dams, no water in the rivers, so there's no electricity. This is one of the aspects. We are facing hurricanes, we are facing droughts, we are facing unseasonal rains, we are facing variation in temperature, and that is affecting populations all over the world. India is also primarily agricultural land. Like I said, I'm a farmer. And we are seeing the way things are changing and we are trying to cope up with it. It is affecting our farms, our agricultural output. Now, the question is, what do we do about it? Ek Peड़ Maa Ke Naam is a message, is an initiative that is to encourage us to plant as many trees as possible. And with that, create an awareness of our environment, create an awareness about sustainable living. हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का एक और इनिशिएटिव है मिशन लाइफ, which is lifestyle for environment. But what does it call for? That we, instead of wasteful consumption patterns, we start trying to adopt practical, meaningful, sustainable consumption patterns, so that we try to use, or let's say, let me put it in another way, we stop misusing the resources that Mother Earth provides. Gandhi ji ne aaj se bahut saal pehle, I don't know how he saw this problem coming up, but there were his famous words which are used so often now, that the earth has enough for man's needs, but not enough for human beings' greed. So these are various aspects of environment conservation, preservation, the climate change that we are experiencing. We have a long battle ahead, but it has to stem from individual effort and individual realization, individual awareness, and individual commitment to provide a better future for our future generations. Otherwise, what is it that we are going to leave them? And Ek Peड़ Maa Ke Naam is a very, let's say, very important step in that direction, because it shows us that the way our mothers take care of us, the same way Mother Earth nurtures humanity. And it is a duty to also take care of our Mother Earth. So it has an emotional appeal to it, which encourages people to plant trees. And in India, in the past few years, around, if I'm correct, around 90 million trees have been planted. 90 crore, sorry, not million, 90 crore trees have been planted. So that is I'm very happy that you asked that question, and it allowed me to put out our, our concerns for climate change. We are championing the cause in the world of fighting this change. The battle, of course, is between the developed nations and the developing nations, because the climate change that we are experiencing today, the bad effects, the ill effects of climate change, the greenhouse gases, the carbon levels that have increased in the atmosphere, that is because of the unbridled development activity that was carried by the developing nations in the 1970s. Not in the 1970s, in the 17th century and beyond that. और आज हम लोग की उसी के negotiation चलते हैं कि जब आप लोगों ने इतना damage किया है, तो the developing nations, they don't have a choice. They are also under obligation to their people, to their countrymen, to give them a better lifestyle, to increase their level of living and development. So somewhere things have to be compensated. So this is an ongoing struggle that humankind faces. Climate does not recognize any national or political boundaries. If we cut trees in Brazil, it affects our monsoons in India. The emissions that we do are melting the ice caps, increasing the water levels. Countries like Maldives, their average height above water is just 1.5 meters. And the way the ice caps are melting, the polar ice caps, the way the glaciers are melting, within a very short time, we foresee an increase of almost 3 to 6 meters in the water levels. What is going to happen to these small island states? It's a very big concern. Right now, there's a conference of parties under UNFCCC, United Nations Framework for Combating Climate Change, happening in Baku in Azerbaijan. And our country champions that cause. We have done our bit towards mitigation efforts of reducing our country emissions, our national emissions. I'm happy to tell you that we are concentrating on using less and less fossil fuel, which means coal and petrol and gasoline. And we are focusing on increasing our renewable energy sources. Our renewable energy now counts for 45% of our power needs in our country are met through solar and wind energy. And we are at forefront of that. And we have had repeated requests from the government of Zambia here of how to give them the expertise, because they also feel this pinch, that because everything was concentrated in hydroelectricity, because the lack of rains, the drought they're experiencing, the power shortages, now they want to get into other renewable energy sources like solar energy. And I hope, again, like I said, it's a big opportunity for a business community here to provide solar technology and know-how and set up solar plants in this country. But that is in the gist of it. We have to balance our development with the nature, with the environment, and try to see how we can guarantee a better future for our future generations. Sir, on that note, I'll also like to tell you that, like I said, we come from a rural area. And अगर आप गोंडा में, हमारी मैम है गोंडा से, आपने देखा होगा या वो बताएंगे आपको कि कितना हमारे यहाँ सागौन के पेड़ लगते हैं. Sagon is teak in English, and it's a very, let's say, costly, you can say, or important plant for furniture. वो farmers को काफी economy बढ़ा देता है. And हमारे यहाँ गोंडा district में you will find more teak trees growing than anywhere else in UP, and that is because आज से 50 साल पहले, 40 साल पहले, my father started this process, and he used to tell everyone कि अगर आपके घर में एक बेटी है तो उस बेटी के नाम पे 2-4 पेड़ लगा दो. So by the time she comes of marriageable age, and you know इंडिया में लड़की की शादी में कितना खर्चा होता है, so this is like a fixed deposit that is growing along with, as your daughter is growing, these trees are growing, and when she is of marriageable age, 18-20 साल में तब तक आपका ये बैंक बैलेंस तैयार हो जाएगा. So that is also one aspect of it. आप लोगों को डिनर के लिए भी देर हो रहा होगा. I have no problem. I'm very happy to be here with you. I can stand here for more hours and ask and answer questions. But my sincere request that if you have any questions, please bring them up.
Sir, my name is Bhupender Singh Rathore, and एक कल हम लोग साथ में थे इंडिया जाम्बिया बिजनेस राउंड टेबल में, और हमारे जाम्बिया के जो मिनिस्टर हैं उन्होंने एक पॉइंट रेज किया था कि इंडिया में नैनो फर्टिलाइजर्स आ गए हैं और हमारे फार्मर्स की हेल्प के लिए यहाँ भी हमें कुछ करना चाहिए. I wanted to bring it to your notice, Honorable, that we have already brought nano fertilizers to this part of the world, and I think the Zambian farmers are receiving it very well. We have taken the sole rights from IFCO India for the entire Southern Africa. Looking at that, we are also, I'm also part of the Rajasthan Foundation of Zambia, and together we are also, planning to work out some activities around that. If we can support the farmers with some small, spraying activities, and especially with the support from IFCO India. IFCO has willingly told us that, with certain quantities which we bring in, they will help us with small drones for spraying on the farmer field. So this is what I also wanted to mention, Honorable, that we as Rajasthan Foundation, we are working in that direction. And obviously, we have brought that technology to this part of the world. एक question, sir, मेरे को I've been in Zambia for last 12 years, and I've been in this agriculture sector for last more than 20 years now. Zambia में India and Zambia के बीच में agriculture knowledge का आदान प्रदान बहुत बड़ा level पे नहीं है. This is what I have noticed. So is there any plans, or this is kind of a request that if the universities like ICAR and the Zambian universities can come together. There is a big shortage of manpower in this agriculture sector, technical manpower in this agriculture sector. Thank you, sir.
That's a very valid question. बहुत ही valid question है. Many times, आप लोगों के सबका, it's a common experience that so many ideas which are sound, not only seem sound, but they are sound. But to get those ideas on the ground, sometimes the process is not very clear, or the process just takes too long. यहाँ पे जो आपने बात किया, the Honorable Agriculture Minister himself put that topic up to me as how to get the expertise, and I've asked him to make out a paper of exactly what all is needed, and I will present it to my government, and we will start that exchange of knowledge from our Indian universities, because no doubt we have progressed quite far in the expertise as far as agriculture is concerned. Uske liye we must do something. There are a lot of opportunities there, like I previously mentioned, and the expertise is needed, like you very rightly said. And I request the Honorable High Commissioner to, if it can from your end to our government, and also I get a copy of it, then I can start trying to coordinate the efforts of both the governments into getting expertise here, a panel of scientists or other people, and also maybe some of our progressive farmers, they can also come and take a look here, because Zambia has earmarked 20,000, 2,000 hectares, 20,000 hectares of farmland for the Indian community. So that is one thing of it. जब आप कह रहे थे nano fertilizers के बारे में, another point comes to mind कि if you can, you should also start the soil health program which our government did in India. What generally happens is that the farmer, just in a bid to get more and more produce out of his land, he just starts pumping in fertilizers. There are two drawbacks to it. One is, of course, it is costing the farmer more to buy those fertilizers. And secondly, which is more important, it is killing the quality of our soils. So later, he will have to put in even more fertilizers. On an average, we have found out that a farmer in India uses up to 30 to 35% of more fertilizer than what is needed by the soil. When we are talking about sustainable growth and sustainable agriculture, I would also like to point out that our country is taking very proactive steps, and we have policies to encourage organic farming. And now that is one very cost-effective method of growing produce. And ever since COVID has happened, people have become very health conscious. They want to lead healthy lives. And the demand for organic produce has grown all over the world. So I'd like you, sir, to also, while you're brought in a nano fertilizer, which of course again reduces the demand for fertilizer in the soil because it disperses very easily. But we should also try to encourage organic farming here, which is a very tech-low thing. It is just very simple practices. You mentioned drones. So we have started this concept of drone Didi, which is an effort to combine the requirements of agriculture with our village rural women to train them into how to fly drones and use their skills for crop spraying. So on one hand, we are doing more effective crop spraying, whether it be pesticides, insecticides, or fertilizer. On the other hand, we are also empowering our village women who are taught these skills and are then used, and they in their villages, in their society, they use the drones that have been taught to them of how to spray crops. So that again can be seen here or experienced here. The other thing I want to highlight is that when we are talking about agriculture and we are talking about scarce water resources or dwindling water resources, please do not make the mistake of just using pumps and just pump out water. We have done that. With free electricity, हमारे farmers अपना उनको खेत सींचना होता था. I know that paddy is not grown here. I don't know whether it is grown here, but paddy requires a lot of water, especially at certain times. पहले क्या होता था कि हम लोगों को डीजल के लिए लाइन लगती थी at petrol pumps. These are so many things I can tell you, but like I said, it will take long. But as a farmer, I have seen for years and years and years that when our crops needed water and we only had diesel pump sets for our irrigation purposes, there was a time where there was a sudden surge of demand for diesel. And our farmers had to stand in line with their jerry cans at pumps for hours. And maybe for days they would not get the diesel. And हमारे यहाँ यूपी से बिहार लोग जाते थे, वहां से डीजल लेके ट्रेन से जाते थे. That was the condition. And now, so then people were careful. The farmers were careful. Diesel costly, so they used to just pump out only that much water. That was the bare minimum needed for the crops. But now, like I said, we have free electricity. And I used to make a joke of it actually in my, not a joke, I used to make an issue of it in my election campaign just now. That अब तो खेत में भी बिजली है, घर में भी बिजली है, हमारे किसान लोग शाम को जाते हैं, पंप ऑन कर देते हैं, रात में घर चले जाते हैं, फैन ऑन कर देते हैं, रात भर आराम से दे स्लीप सोते हैं, एंड सुबह जाते हैं तो उन्होंने अपना भी खेत सींच रखा है और बगल का भी खेत सींच रखा है. That is a fact I'm telling you. But what is happening here is we are overusing our groundwater resources. What we have to bring into this, what our government is also doing, we are encouraging micro irrigation through sprinkler systems and through drip irrigation. And when we are talking about developing the agriculture in Zambia, side by side, sir, you must also encourage these methods. And maybe the business community is there. You can provide these methods, provide sprinkler irrigation systems, provide drip irrigation systems, along with solar water pumps, and make it a complete solution for Zambia's agriculture.
Honorable Minister, good evening. So I am Subhashni, just a quick one. Even though we are away from India, during Lok Sabha elections and other elections, we are quite interested to cast our vote, to exercise our duty from here. So is there any measure which is already in place, or is there going to be any measure you're going to help us in casting our vote? So thank you.
So I was waiting for this question to happen actually. Because wherever I've gone, हमसे सवाल जरूर पूछा जाता है, and it is very good. It is heartening to know that Indian diaspora is so interested in the future of a country and in building the future of a country. Of course, you must know that people who do not have Indian passports cannot vote in India. It is only the people with Indian passports that can cast their vote. I was in Armenia recently, where we have, I think, a few lakh Indian students. And they all wanted to know of how to cast their vote. But sadly, till now, we have not evolved a system of how electronically a vote can be cast from sitting in some other country in our election processes, because of the way our elections are happening. They happen in phases. The voting is done as per the polling list of every polling station. So as an Indian, you have your name registered in some polling station or the other, and you can only go to that polling station to cast your vote, along with your some kind of ID. It could be a bank card, it could be a driving license, it can, of course, it can be a Aadhaar card. Now, how can that be done from sitting in another country is a very big issue. But I do want to, I have often discussed this, and in the age of information technology, I'm sure some kind of system can be devised where you as a voter, your vote can be authenticated and cast. But right now, ma'am, I'm sorry to say right now, we do not have a system. But it'll give you an excuse to come to India. A reason to come to India. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
Future plans to set up a higher education campus in Lusaka, like IIT Madras, Zanzibar?
We have discussed that, ma'am, and this is one of the areas where I have stressed with the Zambian government to make use of our capacity building institutions and of our technological know-how. But it is really up to also the government, the national government here, to send that proposal to us, to send that request to us, and I'm sure we are trying to invest, especially in the sectors of capacity building and education and higher education in Zambia, and in the health sector. So it depends now that what kind of a response we get from the government here, and we'd be more than happy to take it up. Ma'am, I'd like to highlight here that our government, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, we are making efforts worldwide to connect with the developing nations on all areas, whether it is climate change, whether it is mutual development, our bilateral relations, our strategic partnerships, our trade partnerships. We are doing as much as we can to develop as many partnerships and relations with as many countries as possible, especially the developing countries like Zambia. So I'm sure if a proposal comes from the government here, our government will take it up in very constructively.
Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you. Yes, ma'am. Mic ले लीजिए, please.
Namaste, sir. My name is Aarti Vijaywargiya. I'm here from last 15 years, and I'm one of the yoga instructor as well as the secretary of the Yoga Federation of Zambia. I've been doing here yoga from past 7 years, and I have been a willingness or an urge to spread the word of yoga in nearby countries and Africa, Zambia. So we are working on it, but somehow we are lacking behind from the support for that, because as we know, we need to grow we need to make it as a sport. But in local publics or the Zambians, they are not, it has not been aware that much, and it's not spreaded the word of it that much, and they consider it as a religion which we want to get to them. For that, I think we need to spread the awareness. We need to bring more just than an international yoga day, so that we can have the local public as well to come up for this type of things, and we can spread the word of yoga in all over the world.
Thank you, ma'am, for your broad outlook on the subject and the future outlook for this. I would call it a practice. It's not a sport. It's not a religion. It's a practice, an ancient health practice. When we did not have modern medicines, we did not have modern hospitals. The only way a human being could survive was by living healthy. And our ancient doctors and scientists, जिनको आज हम लोग ऋषि मुनि कहते हैं, they were really our ancient scientists, and they discovered, they developed this practice, and well, it is gradually spreading all over the world. The Western nations have adopted it. They recognize it as one of the best forms of exercise. And I'm sure, ma'am, what your concern is that how do the people here, how do they embrace it? Well, we can only continue with our methods. We can continue with expanding our International Yoga Day. And we should also not just do it once a year, but we can hold camps. We can ask for volunteers, or if we can set up free teaching camps initially. That is the way to spread this practice. I don't know if what is the medium of TV channels here, but if you can take some slot in the TV channels and advertise that every morning, जैसे हमारे पहले I forget his name now, Baba Ramdev, yes, वो दिखाते थे, and so many people started practicing. So that way, in that sense of the word, if you can take a slot in one of the TV channels and start showing it, then I'm sure people will start following gradually. And of course, it has nothing to do with religion. It's nothing to do with religion at all. So I again compliment and praise your your sincerity towards this, and I'm sure you'll succeed over time. So you wanted to ask something?
Good evening, Honorable Jai Mata Di. I have one question. I think everyone wants to know. And as we want to know, as you came in Zambia, we had, this is, I think, is the one of the biggest community receptions so far we held in Zambia. So just because of our High Commission's efforts and your visit, we made it in Lusaka. And we need more ministers and government officials to be visiting Zambia. And the one question which everyone wants to ask, all the neighboring countries, our prime ministers is visiting, when is visiting Zambia? Because we feel, पड़ोसी के घर में मेहमान है और हमारे नहीं आए. So we feel better. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll मोदी जी से बात करेंगे. हम आपके मन की बात मोदी जी से कहेंगे. हम लोग मोदी जी की, अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी की मन की बात अक्सर सुनते हैं. हम कहेंगे कि आपको भी हमारे कंट्रीमैन की मन की बात सुनना है, एंड ये है उनकी मन की बात. But on a serious note, I will put this request forward to the Honorable Prime Minister.
So it's not a question, sir. It's an observation from the yoga. In fact, through the Indian High Commission, one of the army generals from here has gone to India, to Bangalore, and done a full yoga course. And he has actually taught the entire army here, and he's still taking lessons here, and he's doing that here in Zambia. And also my wife, she's an instructor also. She used to do for the women in prisons also. So there's a lot of ways of actually doing the yoga, spreading the yoga here in Zambia. And through the High Commission, still you can actually send people to India to do the course. Thank you.
So like you mentioned, and like I said, in jahan bhi jate hum, I come across these silent warriors who have taken upon themselves, whether it is yoga, whether it is teaching our traditional dance practices, our heritage, our culture. हर जगह हमें मिलते हैं ऐसे लोग जो अपने voluntarily, without any financial aims, are doing their bit for the Indian diaspora. And I have no words to express my gratitude to such people, such great souls, and such, like I said, are silent heroes of our society. Thank you very much.
Hello, Honorable Kirti Vardhan Singh जी, हमारा एक क्वेश्चन है. We are doing recycling here. So it is also a good thing for climate change and the environment and this thing. Any of a good new techniques from India so that we want to implement here? Thank you.
Good question, sir. So you'd be happy to know that our government also pursuing this circular economy path, where it is recycle, reuse, motto hai. हम लोग उसको circular economy कहते हैं, and we ourselves are looking at all kind of technology to recycle our waste. Recently, I was in Norway, sir, and we went to visit one of the recycling plants, and I was really impressed by the technology they have. It is simple. It does not require much manpower, but it is totally automated. And the accuracy of the sorting, when you talk about when you talk about recycling waste, the precursor to recycling is sorting of waste, because every kind of waste has a different recycling path. Metals will be recycled differently, plastics will be recycled differently, styrofoam will be paper, food waste, in सबका अलग अलग recycling path होता है. So the first step is sorting of the waste. Unless you can do sorting, sir, recycling karna, it just becomes very impractical and unviable. One of the biggest challenges we faced in India also, our society has to learn how to separate their garbage. जैसे हम लोग क्या, we have the blue color bins, the green color bins, or somewhere black होते हैं for what is biodegradable, what is not biodegradable. So firstly, we have to inculcate that in our systems. And only after that we can talk about recycling. The other way around it is where we have labor at a reasonable cost. Then we can employ the human resources to do the separation. And हम लोग क्या भी देखते हैं, हम पेपर अलग लोग इकट्ठा करते हैं, प्लास्टिक अलग इकट्ठा करते हैं, मेटल अलग अलग इकट्ठा करते हैं. But once that step is completed, sir, there are all sorts of technologies in the world. The developed nations have better technologies. We have just set up a pilot plant from the Norway company in Indore, who have started doing the sorting and recycling to a limited extent. And we are trying to set up recycling plants in India also, especially in the urban areas where it is the biggest problem. So I suggest, sir, that you please explore all such technologies that exist in the world, and then start the recycling. But it is, I mean, what I want to say is that it is never too early for recycling operations to start. We are, as it is, we are facing problems from waste, and once recycled, we have a saying, it's a waste to wealth. That's the motto of our circular economy, of how to convert waste into wealth.
Good evening, Honorable Sir.
I can't see. Oh, there.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity for the open discussion. I have one suggestion. I do belong in a dairy fraternity. I'm working here since last 4 years.
Which fraternity did you say? I'm sorry.
Dairy fraternity. Dairy industry, yeah. Dugdh.
Yes, I got that.
So before that, I was in Uganda. Before coming here, I worked there almost 4 years. Then next 4 years, I'm here. So since 2019 up to now, I'm in Africa, and I'm in dairy fraternity. So in like Uganda, I have seen a lot of dairy development, like rural livelihood. It is also coming under the agriculture sector. So what the development, the advancement in Eastern Africa, like in Uganda, I have seen, like here in Zambia, I have observed and noticed since last 4 years, like there are many gaps here. The cattle population, the milk production is still here very low, but there is a huge probability and possibilities which can be explored, like the foreign breeds, exotic breeds. Those cattle population should be started here also, like in India, Sahiwal, Gir, Tharparkar, those high yielding animals, their breeding practices should be started in Zambia also, sir. What I noticed, what I observed. So this is my suggestion, because India right now, it is the world's highest large milk producing country. So obviously, being a pioneer, we can suggest something good to Zambia, which is still practicing these businesses. And I travel throughout the Zambia, through east, north, south, west, everywhere I travel. I have seen a lot of potentiality among the rural areas, villages areas. So this is my suggestion. If there is any breeding hub, either artificial insemination center should be started in Zambia, that will be very helpful for Zambian common people. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honorable. Good evening.
You raised a very valid point, sir. I want to, again, when we talk about agriculture and you're talking about dairying, they're all very interconnected. And the constant request I'm getting is how to bring know-how into these fields. We, of course, will explore the government way of bringing in scientists and researchers and experts. But you know that that path takes a lot of time. Since we already have a private sector here engaged in farming, engaged in dairying, my strong suggestion to you, sir, is that you must just go to India, visit our research centers, whether it is animal husbandry, whether it is our agriculture institutes, talk to the professors there, talk to the vice chancellors there, and just shortlist some people and bring them over here. That would be the quickest way to do things. Or alternatively, you can go from here, spend some time there in our universities, learn the techniques, learn the practices, and then just come and start adopting it here. That would be the most practical and quickest way to get the expertise that you require, whether it is dairying, we have a separate ministry for animal husbandry, or whether it is farming and agriculture, or any such field. The expertise is already there. The technical know-how is already there. All the research work is also being, we are still continuing with that. But in the meanwhile, I'm sure you can either go there. If you're coming there to learn, to train, we can provide the necessary coordination and the facilitation of the people from here. Or if you want experts or scientists, we can also facilitate that. But as a private sector, I think while we are waiting for the government-to-government processes to happen, as a private sector, you should take the lead and do it. Ji. I'm sorry, I can't, ma'am, if you could take the mic, please. आप लोगों को, you must be feeling hungry also, no? Yes.
सर मेरा नाम प्रतिभा वर्मा है, मैं यहाँ 13 ईयर से हूँ। मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि यहाँ पे हमें सब फैसिलिटीज हैं, अच्छा है, सब कुछ है। मेडिकल का अगर थोड़ा सा हो जाता, आपने जैसे कहा कि आप मोदी जी से बात करेंगे हमारे लिए तो अगर मेडिकल का कुछ अच्छा हो जाता, यहाँ पे फैसिलिटीज हमारे पास बहुत अच्छी है, हम ये नहीं बोलेंगे कि फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, बट ओल्ड एज पीपल्स के लिए हॉस्पिटल्स उतने अच्छे नहीं है। अगर कोई भी बड़ी अगर हमें प्रॉब्लम होती तो हमें इंडिया जाना पड़ता है, और इंडिया जाना इतना सबके लिए आसान नहीं है। हम इंडियंस फिर भी चले जाते हैं। मैं अगर जाम्बियंस की बात करूंगी तो उनके लिए थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होता है। बट अभी मेरे ऑफिस से एक कलीग 2 weeks बिफोर ही वेंट इंडिया एंड ही इज रियली एडमायरिंग इंडिया एंड ही सेड वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ फैसिलिटीज, वी आर
वापस आ जाइए आप लोग, कम बैक,
he went Delhi and he was really happy and he was admiring India and he is saying we have a lot of facilities there and we are so fast there, and actually we are. And he was actually admiring our High Commission also. He get a very easily visa, so he was happy. And that's why I'm saying if like a Apollo hospital or something that we can get here, it will be easy for us. You know, we cannot get leave always to get go there. So if you can, my words, if it will be reached to Mr. Modi, or maybe you can do something, so it will be, we are very happy, you know. Thank you.
Ma'am, I understand your concerns. Of course, health is the biggest concern for anyone. When you're talking about setting up good hospitals here, ma'am, there are 2 ways to go about it. One is the government-to-government procedures, where the government of one country sends a proposal to the government of another country. In this case, Zambia sends a proposal to Indian government and provides the necessary, let's say, land or any other support And then it's up to our government to, again, talk to our hospital chains and kind of encourage them to come here. The second, of course, is the business to business, which I just mentioned. And the hospitals that you're talking about in India are mostly private hospitals. Of course, we have set up so many more all India medical, the AIMS chains in India now, and medical colleges in India. But the private chain, the private sector hospitals, again, it has to be a proposal that is sent to them, and they have to figure out what support can the local government give, and before they can start setting up these hospitals. On this regard, again, we have spoken to our Zambian counterparts in the government. We have expressed our intent to invest in this country's health and education sectors. And it is up to the government here really of how soon can they process their requirements in these two fields. And only then our government can take it up.
Good evening, Honorable Minister, sir.
Where are there?
Yeah, here, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah. Sir, I have one request. Here, as we are away from India, our kids are having lack of knowledge about India. So, if you assist to arrange some library facility in that Indian High Commission, it will be really helpful. It elaborate like Indian culture related kind of things, that kind of books, a lot of that. All our kids have get knowledge about that knowledge. Currently, High Commission of India is conducting that Hindi classes. We are really happy about that. So a lot of kids are getting benefit on that. The same way that library facilities, those things, no, our kids have more linked with that our Indians, India. So this is my request.
That's a very good point that you raised. Your concern about our future generations or our present young people knowing about our country, our culture, our traditions, like I said earlier, is of course very, very important. I'd like to inform you that we already have e-libraries existing in India, which are basically meant for the poorer people who cannot have access to libraries or books. And that portal, you can, I'll ask our Honorable Commissioner to provide that portal to you where our children can access it here also.
May I add something here?
Yes, sir, please, of course, why not? Why don't you come here with me? Abhi aa jaiye.
Thank you. See, in the High Commission, we have a library. So we have already told through our website, anybody can become member of our library. That is the first point. Second, we have started the Hindi classes, both online and physical form. Only few students are coming. So I keep appealing to our community, take advantage of the Government of India's this initiative on Hindi. Only about 15, 20 students, sometimes 30 students are coming. So I keep telling our community, it's very easy to tell, but also to participate what we are doing in the High Commission, and it's free. It's on Saturdays and Sunday, 2 hours, we are doing Hindi classes. We have an excellent library, we have enriched it, and take advantage of our services which we keep providing to the community here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank the Honorable High Commissioner for making these efforts of providing education and Hindi and the library. And sir, any other way in which we can make this outreach more substantial to our Indian diaspora, please let us know. And any which way in which our government in India can help in this regard. Like I said, setting up a cultural center is very important. I will start that process when I go there. And of course, pursue with it. So these are the things that are important. And any suggestions from you, sir, I'll most likely take it up. Because you know best the realities here, the ground realities, and what is needed and how it can be
done.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The request for the culture center is a really genuine one.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree.
Yes, and we don't have here, and I admire the efforts of the community. So they
Sir,
have
why don't you come on stage, sir?
So I admire the efforts of the community of going for the Indian culture and making their own humble efforts, whether with the Hindu house and with his Marathis, Bengalis, and Sindhis, whoever we are here, a diverse community, but all are making good efforts. Like we have seen the dance today. This is a teacher here from Bengali community. She's making efforts to teach Bharatnatyam. So there are people here making efforts, and the effort of our government is, as our minister has already mentioned, that yes, we will take this cause of a culture center in Lusaka. We have already made a request. It will be under the consideration of the government of India to have a culture center in Zambia.
Yes, sir, please. I think there's a strong murmur of protest going from the
Hello?
rest of the audience. They're all wanting to go for dinner.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Lusaka, Zambia. Myself नचिकेत लिम्बाचिया, मैं HSS से एसोसिएट करता हूँ, हिंदू स्वयं सेवक संघ अंडर RSS अम्ब्रेला. और जैसे कि हमने देखा कि मोदी जी ने 4-5 साल पहले जो अनाउंस किया योगा डे, जो वर्ल्ड वाइड हम लोग सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, तो एक और मैसेज है हमारा वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, जो होल वर्ल्ड इज वन फैमिली, जो हम इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं. तो ऐसा कुछ डे हम सेलिब्रेट करें, वसुदेव कुटुंबकम डे एनआरआईज के लिए, तो डेफिनेटली हमारा जो इंडियन कल्चर है, हमारे जो संस्कार है, उस बारे में हम जहां भी रहते हैं ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड वहां पे स्प्रेड कर सकते हैं, और ये मैसेज वर्ल्ड वाइड घर घर सबको पहुंचा सकते हैं कि व्हाट वी आर एंड व्हाट ट्रेडिशन एंड इंडियन प्राउडनेस वी कैन स्प्रेड with the word of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Whole world is one family. This is my suggestion to celebrate Vasudeva Kutumbakam Day. Thank you.
Very good suggestion, sir. But I mean, I feel one should celebrate India Day in all our missions and embassies. And बहुत जगह होता भी है. तो ये तो आप लोग यहाँ पे लुसाका में, why don't you celebrate Indian Culture Day? And you can have performances, you can have recitals. The lady from my areas, you know, इतना अच्छे से उन्होंने भजन गाया. इस तरह के तमाम सारे hidden talents हैं. And it is a place for coming together. You do not have to wait for a minister to come together. So I think one should do it. And जब आप वासुदेव कुटुंबकम की बात कर रहे हैं सर, अभी जब कुछ देर पहले I had mentioned that our country is making an outreach to all developing countries and other countries around the world. वो इसी principles के अंतर्गत कि the world is one family. That is how our government is making this effort to reach to every nation which till now were not recognized. We are making an effort to form very close ties with every country, big or small, in the world. आज आपको, I must tell you, you should know as a part of the Indian diaspora that it is very sad that Zambia is undergoing very severe drought conditions, and that has really affected the agriculture and the population here. And I think as I speak, 2,500 metric tons of maize has reached Lusaka's warehouses from India as a part of the humanitarian gesture from our country. So we will continue with these humanitarian efforts. जब कोविड हुआ था, आप लोगों को पता है कि lakhs of vaccines were given to countries around the world, even the developed countries. So these are the humanitarian efforts we will continue. It is a part of our ethos. It is part of our culture. आज की बात नहीं है sir. From ancient times, wherever any community was persecuted in the world, they found shelter on the shores of our country. Whether it was the Zoroastrians, the Parsis who came and settled around Bombay, whether it was the Jews who came when they were persecuted, who came and found a home in India in the southern parts, whether it was the Armenians who, when they were persecuted in 1915, 1916, so many of them traveled overland and traveled by sea and have settled in various parts of the country and mostly in Calcutta, where they still run the school. So our country, our civilization has always believed in peace, in humanity, and in providing shelter to people in need. And that is the real idea behind Vasudeva Kutumbakam, like you said. And I'm very happy to state that our present government, under the Prime Minister Modi ji, we are taking this idea forward to every country in the world, whether they are big or small, like I said.
On this Vasudeva Kutumbakam, I may just add that it's a very strong ethos, very ancient ethos of India's culture. And in the last couple of years, we have celebrated the Festival of India's here with the support of ICCR. The whole 1 week we gave to the community to come forward and celebrate the India Week with us. So it was an effort from the High Commission. We got good support from the community here. For 2023, we did this. We keep doing this. We have a very vibrant organization in Lusaka here. Like one, we have the Leela here. They have celebrated in a big way, and a very active organization. And with their efforts, they have attracted the attention of the first lady of this country and the president of the republic. And we celebrated his birthday in 2022 on 4th of June. We had the festival here, and the first lady of Zambia was our guest of honor. Again, she came in 2024. So we are trying to make inroads through our culture with the Zambian leadership. So that's a very important aspect, and our vibrant ladies are doing excellent work to promote our culture and culture diplomacy to reach to our agenda, our political aims, our diplomatic and our commercial aims in Zambia. We are doing that.
I would again like to congratulate the diaspora on the words of Honorable High Commissioner. And of course, it is a very important work that you're doing, is the people-to-people contact that really matters and takes, we maybe government, as a government representatives, we can try as much as we want, but it is really the movement from the people that extends into these strong bilateral relations that ultimately form between countries. So what the Honorable High Commissioner has mentioned, I would again extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to the efforts the Indian diaspora is making here. So may I ask, which are some of the oldest families here which have been living in Zambia for the greatest amount of time? Yes, ma'am? (1991).
It is a farming company actually.
Right, ma'am.
It is a farming company, so agriculture company it is. And I was an administrative officer in one of the school actually. I'm a retired teacher, I can say.
Teachers never retire.
That is true, sir. Very true.
हमारे गोंडा में आप बैठे रहिए, ये डुमरिया डी के ही आगे एक गांव है, वहां पे एक ठाकुर साहब है. He was a government teacher in the primary schools, जो गांव में होते हैं छोटे छोटे schools. Sir, he retired, I think 10 to 12 years back. Retire हो गए government service से. But till now, after his retirement, अभी भी वो cycle से, he continues to go to his school every day and teach every day without any, of course, no pay. So as a teacher, ma'am,
No, okay, though
Don't ever think
I'm
you're
saying
retired.
I'm a retired teacher, but I'm
But
connected.
I understand what you're saying, of course,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'm connected to HSS. I'm promoting our, cultural things like shlokas and all these things with
that's very nice.
HSS actually.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So when I said I was talking about the oldest families, since I know that since 1890s families have been here. So that's what I just wanted to know. I was curious. यहाँ पे कोई उस generation के लोग यहाँ, I mean, from those families, people present here. I would like to know your experience and the. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. I represent Lusaka Hindu Association, the chairman of Lusaka Hindu Association, Anil Desai. My parents came in 1938. So this is the fourth generation we are in Zambia.
That's amazing.
And our family has got a background for the struggle of independence in Zambia.
Oh, that's very nice.
I have represented to United Nations as well, one of my uncle, and he was the first Indian member of parliament in 1964.
Oh, that's commendable.
I have
Right?
pictures also, including the government gazette, which proves that he was a member of parliament in 1964.
That's
We are
wonderful,
proud
wonderful.
to be Zambian.
Yes.
And same, we have our in heart India as well. Thank you.
Yes. And I'm proud as an Indian to have you in such important post in Zambia. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that we were blessed as Zambia. I was one of the invited guests at the Ram Mandir on 22nd of January.
आप गए थे?
I was there. I went with my wife. We were supported, and it was very well organized. Where I shared with people how the experience was. It was too great.
Really, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank
That's
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
आप हमारे गांव के एकदम पास से होके चले आए. When you consider the distance between here and India and that to Ayodhya, so I am 25 kilometers away from Ayodhya, my village. So that's hardly any distance. वो बहुत पास ही है. Should we call it a day? So, on the ending note, I am, like I said, I don't have words to express my gratitude for the time our respected Indian diaspora has taken out today, the ladies and gentlemen, the senior generation. I'm very grateful for your time, and I hope I could answer your questions and satisfy your curiosity to some extent. I have made a note of the requirements of the diaspora, whether it is regarding direct flights or even casting votes, and the requirement for infusion of know-how and expertise in the fields of waste recycling, in the fields of agriculture, in the fields of dairy. I would very much request you that if I could have these requests in writing through our Honorable High Commissioner. And of course, we would take these processes forward from the government point of view as what can be done. So again, it was very nice being here with you. आप लोगों के साथ वाकई लग रहा है कि हम इंडिया में ही हैं, अपने लोगों के बीच में, और हैं भी, कोई नई बात नहीं है. तो आपके समय के लिए बहुत आभारी हैं, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. And before we go for dinner, while we are walking past, I would like to, of course, express my thanks to our young performers, to our drummers who are seated at the back, and my namaskar to the elder generation that are here. Thank you very much. आप सबको नमस्ते और धन्यवाद.
माननीय मंत्री श्री कीर्ति वर्धन सिंह जी का हम तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करते हैं कि उन्होंने आज अपने प्रेरणादायक विचारों और मार्गदर्शन से हमें अनुग्रहित किया. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to be with us today and for your continued commitment to serving the nation. Refreshments have also been served at the back of the hall. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your evening.